Hello Clan Capital enthusiasts! I am Kala, one of the Clan Capital base builders over at Blueprint, and in this video I will be bringing you a walkthrough on how to create a strong district level 5 Barbarian camp base. This will be very useful for all Capital Hall 9 and 10 attack strategies, and will of course be a graveyard spell repellent base. So let's get right through the action. Starting off, I would like to state that Barbarian Camp is the hardest district out of all, maybe except Dragon Cliffs, that a graveyard spell attacker could try to take down. And in this base build, I'm going to try to secure at least 3 attacks for the base to get taken down, so it will be an anti-2 shot base. To achieve that, we need to make the first attack fail very hard. How are we going to do that, you may ask? We're going to start off by closing this compartment off to get through the base, unless they go from this bottom side. Of course, if we put a building right here, a ram could break the wall, but in this case we will not be using any of this little area right here. None of this will be used, so we don't have to worry about that. Maybe some users are going to use some jump spells, but that is quite rare from what I've seen from the 20 plus, 30 plus raid weekends we've had right here in Nowhere. Let's start to brainstorm how we're going to use all of these buildings that we have here. I can see we have 9 cannons, 9 spear throwers. Okay, so these buildings are going to be not that important, so we could... These are the most important out of all in Barbarian Camp. So we will try to take advantage and protect, preventing the opponent from getting through the base. So we're going to use these exact placements of walls to have them waste even more rams. So let's start. Let's use this open wall compartment to have none of these troops walk over to this side right here. So we can actually splash, and this giant cannon is quite good at bowling, to be honest, so we're going to use this right here. And we're going to support it, of course, with a bomb tower. This is very important. You can use bomb towers near these heavy defenses to protect them from graveyard skeletons. We have the multi-cannon right there. We can use the district hall as a tanking building, and we're going to put this 1 tile back because we don't want our opponents to get any chain value off of the district hall, which has a lot of HP. So this entry is quite hard to get into. We're going to continue with the same pattern, which is going to be these open wall compartments. Such wall compartments, no rams will attack. We can use some air bombs behind here to provide some air coverage. And over to this side we can use probably an army camp and a multi-mortar spear thrower right there in order to counter any loons. We're going to support it with an air defense. So we have this. Okay, let's do a multi-cannon right there, since it has a lot of hit points. And we can also do a multi-mortar. These buildings will not be targeted by archers or anything else. It's just the balloons, the rocket loons, that are going to surge through the base. So we're going to use a rapid rockets right back here. Let's not give our opponent any zap value and put this air defense up top. So provided that there's no zap value right here, we can actually, we can use this part just like that. So rams will target this lonely rapid rockets first before they target any other wall. We could do this as well, maybe, with a tile missing. I think this is good enough. And here we're going to leave some space for traps. So for example, a giant bomb can go there. I know it might seem quite obvious, but most people attacking do not really take account the trap placement that is key as a base builder. It is a skill that you will need to master. You need to be quite tricky, or you should make your traps unavoidable. Let's use these giant posts, which provide a ton of tanking. We're going to use 2 right off the start to provide a bit more tanking, as well as support maybe this side with a rocket artillery. I think this will be quite nice. We can use it back here, and we can support it with walls. I'm going to do this little thing that I usually do, which is this exact pattern. So we could maybe do this and have this wall open. So usually what you're going to see is that the first ram is going to hit this first section of walls, and then it will target these walls in the back. So we're putting a bit more another layer of protection for our rocket artillery. We can use it right here. We can maybe have a small maze here. So we're going to support this with a bomb tower, of course. I usually use some rapid rockets behind these defenses, which are deprived of their super short range shooting, so they cannot shoot that close. We're going to use one multi-cannon and an air defense right here. We're going to make sure that there is no zap value. As you can see here, these two are placed two tiles apart, but diagonally, which, if you didn't know, yes, you can actually zap both of them down, but it is very hard to line all 5 zap spells to actually have a result, a nice zap value. We can do maybe this and have a cannon right here, and we've used most of our high DPS things at the start. We're going to use a spear thrower, and most probably right here we're going to do some giant bomb. I don't know, we'll see later. Traps are the last thing I'm going to care about, since you can make adjustments at the end. You can test the base as you will be seeing. We will be testing the base. So maybe we need more walls, maybe not. Maybe we'll use these 2 barracks for more tanking. And as you can see here, there's quite a bit of zap value. So I'm thinking of making the rest of the base less, it's going to be more spread out. So not this, the defenses will not be this close to each other. So this is the first sector of the base completed. Maybe some walls, I don't know. Can do this. Quite a trappy design. Let's take a look up top actually. Maybe a cannon right here with some of these thatched huts, as you can see. I don't know, I don't like this. Let's do this, an army camp right here. So now we're going to the second stage, which is going to be a more spread out base. So we can change up the style of the build actually drastically right here. We're going to use an anti-ram base, is what I would like to call, that me and some of my friends at Nowhere have found. We're going to be using these small wall sections, like these, I don't know what to call them, small, I don't know, a wall that is comprised of 3 wall pieces or less, or more actually, which could be at least 5, maybe at most 5, or you could do more. And their purpose is to take care of the rams that are going to immediately target these walls. So even if the first attack goes well and the attacker is thinking, oh, I could use the exact same thing and 2-shot this base, well, it's actually not going to be that effective against this style back here. We could use a barracks maybe. Let's continue. Okay, so as I said, we need to be we need to have a more spread out design. So we're going to be looking at an overview of the base, a bird's eye view, and as you can see here, I have one multi-mortar right here, another one right there. So putting one right here wouldn't be a bad idea, since now we have this, I don't know, this triangle of multi-mortars, you might say, which means that the defenses are spread out, which is what we want in such a base. Let's continue. This is going to be quite a boring part for you, but I see this as a nice way to cool down. No, this is not what you should do. Not a multi-mortar there, that was my bad. Let's do... okay, how about this? We'll do this thing right here. No, actually I'm going to use a cannon, since air coverage is not what we need here. We already have these 3 defenses. We could do this back here. Exactly there. So you can see I'm starting to build a triangle right here with these air bombs, which is one of the most important buildings in Barbarian camps, since most users will attack with air. So this triangle will be great. I'm going to leave this as it is and check it out later. As you can see here, a more spread out style. I'm going to do this here. We can put this there. Let's use some cannons nearby. And we can have our second rocket artillery. Actually, I'm going to use it right here. I think it's more pleasing to the eye. And we can modify it later, but we're going to use this here. As you can see, I have a 2-tile gap between the walls and the rocket artillery. I'm going to break this wall, break this one as well, and do this right here, which is going to ensure that that the attacker's troops will take their way to that bomb tower, maybe, if they come from the bottom, which they most probably will, since we've trapped the other part of the base. Let's make sure that it is actually trapped. So let me do this and this. maybe even something like this and this. So what else do we have to work with? I'm going to do this right here so that I can fit the last giant post right here. As you can see, again, a bit of a triangle. Right here, you might see that the distance between these two super giant posts is not the same as these two, but here in the middle we have these two barracks, which are going to tank for me. Let's do this. We can use this nearby, maybe, and have a rapid rockets, or no, actually. We can have an air defense right here. I don't know what this is here. And right here we can have a spear thrower, maybe with a giant bomb here, but we're going to use that spot later. We'll see. Let's keep going. We can use another spear thrower. Now another like this. Actually, maybe this. Once again, I'm leaving some space between these. Here we're going to use the giant cannon. As I said, maybe here. Yes, why not? A backside giant cannon is going to ensure that any leftover skeletons, hog raiders, anything else that is spammy and the giant cannon can target is taken care of. Let me do this for that and this exact thing right here. We can do this and have this as a pathway, this as a pathway, and the bottom one as a pathway. Not really an air defense needed here. We're going to use this and make sure that we have a multi-cannon right here for any P.E.K.K.A users. I don't know, you could use a P.E.K.K.A right here, but it's quite far back, so most of the troops might have died, and I don't know if the attacker can delay this much and use the P.E.K.K.A at the very end, or just swap it for more hogs or rams. But nonetheless, I'm going to use a multi-cannon in the back. As you can see, let's see these multi-mortars again. We can use one up top. Why not? This base might look very complex to the eye, but it's quite easy to create it. I mean, I'm just doing it right now while talking, so it's not a challenge, especially for when the base is maxed out. It is going to defend like a charm. We can do this and no. And we can probably defend like this with a spear thrower right here. More space for traps. We still have these hidden Teslas that we haven't yet placed down, but you're going to see what I will do with them later. So we don't have a lot of buildings left, so we might as well use them wisely. Okay, I do have a rapid rockets. Let's see, maybe it can be used. Actually, I'm going to swap this out for an air defense and have a rapid rockets right here. No, it's difficult. Let's change this to have the bomb tower blast actually be used, and I think it's decent from what I'm seeing here. You can see that I've spread out these air defenses very nicely. The rapid rockets are also spread out. You can see another triangle right here, and we have one back here for any leftover balloons. Okay, I'd go with it. let's make sure now that the back end of the space is not the easiest to get to. So we're going to do this in a weird way. We're going to first use the trash buildings and then have a layer of walls behind them. And ultimately use these defenses in a way like this. Have a spot for Teslas, maybe mega mines. I kept saying giant bombs, but come on now, they're giant bombs. And we can cover this with another cannon. And maybe actually we can use this cannon back here or right here, which means that it will be defended by this air defense, this rocket artillery, and these air bombs. And we can use this here with actually this like that, this like that, one back, boom, this, okay, here. I find this quite nice, and we can do another spear thrower. We can change positions of these two. And I'm starting to like the base actually here. It's not the best one, but it looks great. Let's see. What would I do with these walls? Here maybe? Yes. Okay. So now we're left with the traps, and we need to make sure that we make it as hard for the opponent to get the least amount of sneaky archer value or ram value or rocket balloon value. So looking at the base, I can identify that starting with a rocket balloon army would not make the cut. However, just to be sure, I will be removing this piece of wall, and I will be adding a mega mine right behind the giant cannon, just to make sure that no rocket balloons are targeting this. It might actually not be needed. I will use this right here though. I need this small part of the wall to make sure these troops go through this right here, this aisle, and get shot by the giant cannon. Anyways, minions are not that used, no. So I think every other trap, at least up front, could be set to ground. So I'm going to use a mine right here. I'm making sure that the small bombs cannot be targeted by rams. And for example, right here, no ram is going to hit this wall or this wall. They will most probably go for one of these back here, and maybe this. We can use another mine right here. It might seem like it's not going to do anything, but maybe at a bunch of skeletons, when a bunch of skeletons pop up, it can take out their shields. Okay, looking at this rocket artillery, I would not want to put a giant bomb, a mega mine right here, since many attackers will actually use a graveyard spell exactly here, and even if just one skeleton spawns, this giant bomb, this mega mine will be triggered. So let's put this right here in the back. Why, you may ask? Well, hog raiders, packs of skeletons. Right here, a bomb tower. There is not much value, not much graveyard value here, so I can actually use a mega mine right there as well. I do not want to use any mines near this rocket artillery or the giant cannon. And here we're going to create our small trap. We can use a mega mine right there. And actually I'm going to do this just to make sure no attackers go from the left side of this spear thrower. And we're going to see what we're going to do with the Teslas later. Let's use some small bombs. It doesn't really matter for those. However, just make sure that they are in annoying spots. Maybe these, you can actually afford these to get triggered by graveyard spells. I'm going to use 2 back here. Maybe if an attacker is not does not have any spells left, has not used any graveyard spells on that area, that giant cannon, all of these hogs and skeletons will get blown up, and this giant cannon will literally strike them. So the last mine, I guess, since this area is quite, maybe there's some chance for skeleton barrels. I'm going to use one right here. Nonetheless, it's as you can see once again, it might seem random, but to me it comes off instinctively. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these mines, 7. They are very spread out through the base. 9, 8, whatever. And these giant bombs are not that spread out, but you can see 1 right on the back, 2 right here, and 1 set on air, something you will very rarely see. But I'm sure that this giant cannon will be safe from any air attacks. Even a fortress here, you have the air defense behind, the air bombs, another air defense. Maybe it takes a weird path, so it gets hit by many defenses. And now we've made it to the very last stage of our base building, which is adding the Teslas. Here, I love having a back-end Tesla farm. This is going to throw off many attackers. If they don't know, they will probably fail at the end if they are good enough to even get to there. As you can see, this exact placement is it might actually be quite obvious, so I'm going to use this right here maybe and put this there just to make sure that we do not raise any suspicions. We can also check scout view. It seems quite weird, that part of the base being so bland and open. Let's do something about this. Change this to this. This looks great. This looks better. No, here. Let's see right now. Okay, I like how this has turned out. There might be a for any unsuspected attackers. Wait, where did this wall come from? Okay, for any unexpected attackers, there might be a Tesla farm right here, or back there, or where it actually is, over there. So let's use our last Tesla. We can use it right there to complete the Tesla farm. And this is our base. So let's get into some quick testing. So I'm back and let's test the base. As you can see here, this is the base we just created. Let's first of all test if the trap works and if any ramps target this wall behind. As you can see, no rams will go for the wall. So let's keep going. Here we're going to actually attack the base. Let's see, some mindless spammy attack. So I'm using ramps right here. Even more ramps to generate barbarians, skeletons, wizards in behind. We can use some hog raiders to stun the defenses. As you might have seen in the how to beat Itsu bases video, we're using this strategy. As you can see, many of these defenses are getting overwhelmed actually. This giant cannon did not do much, at least did not do as much as I wanted it to do. We will use this there. Most of these super wizards are still alive, wow. But what is good is that we still have 2 of these rocket artilleries and the back end Tesla farm and the back end giant cannon. Let's finish this up. Let's see if we can actually do this. I'm going to spam more troops. So as you can see, these rams are being distracted from the walls, so they will actually target these one-piece walls. That is no value for a ram. More ram spread. This is how attackers here usually do it. That was a very nice zap spell actually. Now I'm kind of worried. Let's see. This was one of the most famous attack strategies, the hybrid. And as you can see, with some mindless spamming, this base being maxed out cannot be taken down. It is not even close. I mean, it was very lucky that we managed to take down this giant cannon. But we still have so many defenses. Look at that, 3 Teslas, an air bombs, a multi-cannon. Let me attack the base as a base builder. Let me show you how I would attack the base. I'm going to be starting off with air and have maybe 1 super wizard, or can do 1 of these inferno dragons actually. I'm going to be using these exact placements right here. We can start off with some rams, of course. We're going to do 1, 2, 1, 1. We can use an inferno dragon for that. That is quite rare to see an inferno dragon taking that down, but it's the best thing you can do. Now that we have distracted some of these defenses, we can surge in with our loons and take down 1 of these giant cannons. We can use a zap spell right here. More barbarians. This inferno dragon has gone quite a way. And even with rocket loons, as you can see. Wow. Okay, we do take down the first rocket artillery. I'd say we can we continue this with even more rocket loons. So let's go. Same army. I'm too bothered to change it. Here, and now knowing that there's a Tesla farm at this spot, I'm not going to use that. I'm going to hold on to it and use it later. Let's go, rams. We have these loons right here. Oh, I forgot to bring cleanup. Damn. Yeah, this is going to be a problem. Yeah, that's quite dumb of me. Oh. So we can use this right here, right now. We can do this. No. And without cleanup, I couldn't get through. Let's surrender. So I'm going to sign off for today. This was a nice building session. I hope you learned something, and I hope I sparked your interest to start creating your own bases. You can test them even more. This is not the best base. I'm sure there's a way to two-shot it even at max level, but it's definitely going to give your enemies headaches that are going to last for a long time. So make sure you use code BLUE, and I will see you in the next one. And also, don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button below. This is Kala from Blueprint. Bye bye.